I also want to bring up another point. We have been mentioning the big story about all the flooding that's been happening across the United States, primarily from Kentucky down through Arkansas over to Alabama, and that has really elevated a lot of these stream and river levels. And we have some video that we're going to be mentioning with this as well, but some people are even mentioning this as a historic event. So check this out. This is Alabama right now. Stores were shut down because of the amount of water that was rushing in the roads. This is the testament of what happens whenever you have not a day of rain, not 2 days of rain, but multiple days. It was about a 3 to 4 day period that you have this stationary front that was just dancing around, giving inch upon inch of rain throughout the day, where at least 19 have been killed from these severe storms, because there was also the tornadoes that were spawning from this as well. Meanwhile, over in Kentucky, there was also just as much of a record-breaking rainfall. Check this out. Look at that rain all the way up to the top of the mailbox. It's just sitting there. This isn't necessarily just a rushing river. This is the amount of rain that is now built up from swollen streams and rivers all associated with this. Now, I am starting to see a little bit of a crest. I do have one graphic that I want to show you here that was associated with this. The stream and river flooding did officially peak in this location right here that was southwest of Lexington, reached 47 feet. Now, you can't read the actual numbers, but that's into major flood stage. 46 feet was the previous record. So there's actually one woman that was reporting, wow, I've never seen flooding like this before since I've lived here. And that's absolutely true, because for a lot of these areas, since record keeping began and a lot of people's lifetimes, they have not seen a case and scenario like this. So whenever you have flood impacts that look like that case and scenario, I always like to mention these key facts. It's just 6 inches of moving water that can knock a person down. That's why they say never walk through water. Certainly, we also say never drive through water. That, believe it or not, over half of the flooding deaths that are on record are people that are trying to challenge the water in their vehicles, especially driving over a bridge that is allowing for that rushing water. 1 foot of moving water can also float a car. 2 feet can actually float a vehicle up to the size of an SUV, and sometimes you even heard cases and scenarios that buses are moving around whenever we have this much water. Luckily for us, our flooding potential is very minor, but this is just also a testament. We saw it in Helene. When you have days of rain, that is exactly what can happen. Not saying this is Helene-like, but still a historic flooding event from Alabama all the way up to Kentucky.